Hello, it's Sonia here with the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. Today is another stitch of the week. It's Wednesday, so we are going to be featuring a stitch or a stitch pattern. And I'm going to be doing a very easy version of either like a popcorn or a bubble stitch. It's basically using triple crochet with a little bit of a twist, I guess. Not that you're actually twisting it, but it's just my version of a very simple popcorn or bubble stitch. So to get started, I am going to be using my eye hook or 5.5 millimeter, and you can certainly use whatever hook you have. And I'm going to be using worsted weight yarn. So here we are, number 4 worsted weight yarn, and you can certainly use whatever yarn you have. And we are going to make a chain of 9. So I have my 9 chains here, and I'm just going to work single crochet across this chain. So we'll have a total of 8 single crochet. It's just a foundation. You don't have to do that, but I just kind of want to get a little bit of a foundation. And I know bubble stitches or popcorn stitches are very popular. You can make really cool designs with them. You know, literally you can make hearts or, you know, group them together to make whatever you want. And I probably will be using this stitch to make a blanket. I've been working on some charts, so stay tuned for that. Be a little while before we get that one done because blankets take a little bit of time, but I think it'll be really cute when it's done, hopefully. Cross my fingers. Alright, so I've worked my just basic single crochet, and again, these are all in US terms, so just basic single crochet across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yep. Alright, so row 2, we're going to start the actual popcorn stitch. So I'm going to chain 1, turn my hook, and I'm just going to work a single crochet in the first stitch. And now we're going to do my little easy version of the popcorn stitch or bubble stitch. It's puffy. So we're going to work a triple crochet, and I did do a triple crochet stitch a couple weeks ago. I featured that stitch, so if you're not sure how to do it, I can certainly link it in the description box and you can take a peek at that. But you're going to yarn over twice, insert your hook and your stitch that you want to make the popcorn stitch in, and we're going to just work that basic triple crochet. So I have my triple crochet there. Now what I'm going to do to create the popcorn is right in that stitch here. See, I'm pulling on it. This is where we worked. I'm just going to pop in a slip stitch right in that stitch. And now you can see how we've puffed out. And I'm going to continue to do that again in the next stitch. So I like this way of doing it because I think it's easy, it's quick. Some popcorn stitches you have to do multiple yarn overs. You know, there's different ways of doing them. I've done one where I've had to insert my hook, yarn over a couple times, pulling up this loop, that loop, and the other loop. And then you have to hold loops and then pull through all the loops, and you know, it sounds confusing. I mean, it's not hard when you're doing it, but it's just a lot of steps, and I like to kind of trim down as many steps as I can sometimes with certain projects, and this is one of them. So I did the same thing. I did a triple crochet and I just slip stitched right in the same stitch. So we're going to do that again. So yarn over twice in your very next stitch. And there's no right or wrong. Like if you prefer to do a popcorn stitch a different way, you know, that's certainly quite all right. So there is a triple crochet. And right back in that same stitch, pop that in there, and now we've completed that stitch. Worked my triple crochet and then my slip stitch to complete it. So that's why I say a triple crochet with a twist. So we're adding the slip stitch in there. So work another triple crochet. Come on, there we are. And pop our hook right back in that same stitch. And we'll do it again. Yarn over twice. In the next stitch, pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then to create our puff or popcorn, slip stitch right in that same stitch. And we'll do one more popcorn stitch or puff stitch in here, and then in our last stitch I'm just going to finish it off with a single crochet. Whoops. So there's my triple crochet, slip stitch right in that same stitch, and single crochet in the last one. And then our row, it's technically row 2, but you could certainly do this for row 1. So you can see how we have all of our little puff stitches or popcorn stitches. Now you can do these however you wish, like you don't have to have them right next to each other. Like I'm thinking when I'm making my pattern for this, I might do the popcorn and then the next stitch be a single crochet and then another popcorn, just to have them a little bit more spaced apart. So now we're going to do row 3, and I'll show you what to do for row 3, because this is technically obviously the right side, because this is the side where they're showing, and we're going to be working on the wrong side. So you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn your work, and we'll single crochet right in that same stitch there to keep with our pattern. So now we're going to work in the next stitch. So what you're going to do is you want to really study, it's like the anatomy of a stitch. So this part here, if you turn it, this is the slip stitch here. Let me get my hook. So if you're looking at the tops, this is a slip stitch, this is the actual triple crochet. So you're not going to be working in the slip stitch. You want to work in the triple crochet. So just basically ignore that slip stitch, because if you work in there, you're going to have too many stitches. So we have 6 popcorn stitches, and we want to have 6 popcorn stitches for our this is technically our 3rd row, but our 2nd row of popcorn stitches. So I've yarned over twice, so I'm going to skip, that's the slip stitch, and I'm working in the triple crochet right here. And I'm just going to do the same thing of working my triple crochet stitch. Now we want it to puff on the right side, so we don't want to do this. You're just going to kind of kick it over to the right side and then work your slip stitch right back in there. And the slip stitch just kind of anchors it in there, helps it to puff. So we're going to do the same thing on the next one. So I'm skipping this slip stitch right here and working in there. So this is where it really, helps to, just recognize what the stitches look like. Oops, I'm picking up extra. I keep reusing this yarn for things, but I think it's getting a little worn out as it's starting to split. So I've worked my triple crochet. I'm just going to kind of fold that guy, kick it to the right side, and then work my slip stitch right in that same stitch. So skipping that next slip stitch there and working in the triple crochet. So you're always going to want to work in your triple crochets. So you could have a lot of fun, making a chart and coming up with a design with your different popcorns, which I want to make a blanket, and I'm thinking I will make a I just found I'm doing my yarn destashing, my bust my stash challenge, and I did find some cotton yarn, so I thought maybe a washcloth would be good. I do like crocheted or washcloths. Reuse, repurpose, recycle. I actually use them quite a bit for cleaning, so I should probably do a project, and this would probably be a fun project to do. Alright, so I've got one more. Alright, and I'm going to work my single crochet, and then just one single crochet in the end. Alright, and then we chain 1 and turn, and now you can see there's all of our little puff stitches. Whoops, get that, come on, get out of the way. So now you can see them on here. We can work another row, so chain 1, turn, single crochet right in that same stitch. So you can see it's pretty quick, just working that triple crochet, skipping that first slip stitch there. You'll never work in the slip stitches. And then just slip stitch right back in there to create your little puff or popcorn. So see if you can see, there's the slip stitch, and you're going to want to work in there. And there we go. So we got 3 more of our little puff guys to go. So you're just doing your triple crochet, and then the slip stitch just helps to scrunch it down, and you've got your puff. And then a single crochet in my last stitch. So now you can see we've got our 3 rows of puff, and to kind of finish this off, I'll just work a row of single crochet. So it's important to remember how many you started with. So we started with 8 single crochet, so I'm going to end with 8 single crochet. So I'll single crochet in the same stitch, and again, I'm not working in that slip stitch, I will work in the triple crochet. So just kind of ignore the slip stitch. And there we have our 8 single crochet. So we'll turn that over, and you can see our puff stitches there. And if they're not popping the way you want, you just kind of can pull them out like that to get them to do what you want. Like this guy, there we go. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this little variation of the popcorn or puff stitch here, and I thank you so much for watching.